Welcome back, folks. It is 9:14 on this wonderful Wednesday evening. I'm Josephine Sage. Let's jump right into the forecast right now as we take a look outside on America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. And even in your own backyards, we are seeing just a little bit of some lightning, a little bit of some thunder, and maybe even a little bit of some rain as we get into these later evening hours. Now, as we take a look at those weather headlines, we'll notice those temperatures are close to those seasonal averages during those evening hours. We're hanging out in those low to upper 60s, and during the daytime, we're hanging out in those low to mid 90s. We're going to see some lesser cloud coverage as we get into Thursday and into Friday as the temperatures warm up and as dry airs move on in with a high pressure system. We'll take a look at that short-term weather forecast because, like I said, in those later evening hours, those storms could be quite scattered. And then as we get into Thursday morning, 7:18 hour clear skies are expected. But then as we look into Thursday at 6:30 p.m., some more scattered storms could be moving on in over that Orchard Mesa area, that Whitewater area, Palisade, and even through Montrose and Delta could be getting up to 1/4 of an inch in the next 24 hours. But that's the last of it, folks. We've got clear skies expected late Thursday evening and even into Friday morning. Our humidity values have kind of skyrocketed even within the last 2 hours. In Moab, we're hanging out at 84% humidity. 63 in Grand Junction, might be feeling a little bit muggy out, and 39% in Montrose. Those areas that are also going to get showers this evening, feeling in that 40 percentile. Now, in terms of how risky this thunderstorm is, we're just hanging out at a level 1. Isolated severe thunderstorms are possible throughout those evening hours. And those current temperatures, like I said, it might be feeling a little bit muggy out because it's feeling 69 in Grand Junction, Montrose at 76, Delta even at 79. Now, Moab at one of the coolest temperatures we've seen in quite a while at 67 degrees. And 6 to 10 days out, we'll notice we're still hanging out 36% chance of normal temperatures essentially in the next week. Now, those higher elevation areas over the central and the northern mountains are going to be hanging out even below those average temperatures. And we don't have to kind of stray away from that heat potential because as we notice, that high pressure system that's associated with those drier, warmer areas is still focused over that Louisiana and that Texas border. And it's going to push all this warm, dry air up in that northeastern flow through that Four Corners region, which is why we're still hanging out close to those seasonal averages. So after this precipitation moves on through, I still want to remind you of some wildfire safety tips. Don't leave those campfires unattended. Adhere to those burn bans and warnings. Properly discard those cigarettes and keep those power tools and vehicles off dry vegetation. And of course, obey those orders from local law officials. Now, our almanac will show us that we're right around that seasonal average, maybe even shy of it at 91 instead of that typical 94 for those afternoon highs. That low end hanging out at 63 instead of that typical 64. And I still have Sombra hanging out with me for the dog walking forecast. Please, I'm begging you, send me pictures of your cute dogs to jsage@krextv.com. We'll notice hanging out in those, well, low 90s essentially. That extended forecast is going to show us that's the trend for the near future. And speaking of the near future, tomorrow, 5 p.m., downtown Grand Junction, Market on Main will be there. Why don't you join us downtown for all the vendors, that live music, and all the fun events that are hanging on out, because we're going to have sunshine all the way through the weekend and into the early work.